Hey guys, Tennessee Frank here. Going to bring you a video. It may take a minute or two. It's not going to be a quick video. But basically how to install Linux, and then just a real kind of quick show you all how I set up KDE. Not going to get real in depth, just kind of hit the basics. But yeah, I was at work yesterday and mentioned Linux to a guy, and he's like, "Well, yeah, I don't know if I want to learn to code or not. It just sounds complicated." And it's not. It's so easy. It's not even funny. And I'll talk about that more here in a minute when I pull in my other video. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and kind of do this real quick for you to show you how simple it is to install and how easy it is to set things up. So hope you enjoy the video. All right, we're booted live into the MX19.2 USB with the KDE desktop. I did install a webcamoid over here, and the webcam on this computer that I'm going to be installing this on, it doesn't look like it's really that great. Maybe I just need more light, something, I don't know. And I did get Simple Screen Recorder installed so I could record this. Yeah, somebody was saying, oh, I mentioned Linux and running it, and they were like, well, yeah, but, I really don't want to learn to code. You don't need to know how to code in order to run Linux. Linux is one of the simplest operating systems on the planet to run. I even say it's easier than running Windows. It's less problematic. You don't have to deal with all the spyware and malware, and it's just very intuitive, very straightforward. And again, I apologize for the camera here not looking so good. I probably need more light or something. But yeah, I just wanted to throw an ugly picture of me up here so you can see me talk. But we're going to go ahead and do the install on this system. I just did Debian 10.4 on this system a little while ago, and this computer is something that my wife mainly runs. I run the one that's over behind us here. But I just like keeping us on the same page, so if there's any issues, I know where we're at and what to do. So we're going to do an install. And like I said, this is all just like it is out of the box when you boot to it, with the exception of installing a couple programs. So we'll go up here, we'll click the installer, and it's going to say it's gathering information about our system. And yeah, we want to go ahead, we want to keep the keyboard settings and everything, so we'll hit next. We're going to auto install to the entire disk. I'm not going to encrypt anything. You can encrypt if you want. It's not really necessary on a home station. So we'll go ahead and say next. You're going to format it. It's warning you. You're going to wipe all your data off, which if you're running Windows, hey, that's awesome. You're going to get rid of that stuff. So yes, we want to go ahead and do that. And right now you can see it's creating the required partitions. It's going to install Grub under the master boot record, which is where we want it. So we'll let this go ahead and do this. And if this takes too long, I mean, I'd like to kind of try and do this in real time. If it takes too long, I'll go ahead and cut, and we'll make the video a little shorter. But I'd like to try and do this in real time just to show you that it really doesn't take that long. And I wonder if we hit next. Let me hit next. Yeah, here we go. Computer name, we're going to call this HP, since this is going to be an HP computer. There's no domain name. Work group, we're going to leave it work group. Next, yep, English. And we are out here in Phoenix, so we'll adjust that. I do like it in 12-hour time, not the military time. Next, username, good old Tennessee.Frank. We'll set up a password here, confirm password. They match. Root password, we're going to set that up while we're here. Confirm that. We don't want to show passwords, don't want to auto log. I'm not going to save any of my live desktop changes, so go ahead and hit next. Of course, it gives you a little bit more information here. Still copying, we're at 8%. Like I said, if this goes too long, then we'll go ahead and cut it, because I don't want to make this video too awful long. And it generally doesn't take too long to install. If you got a modern system, dual core, quad core, I mean, back there on my dual core, I had this thing installed in like 10 minutes. Then you go in, you do all your little tweaks and set it up the way you want it. That takes a little bit of time just to get it adjusted the way you want it. I think it took like maybe another half hour for me to get everything squared away, all the software installed that I run. But it's not that bad. Once you install a Linux operating system a few times, you kind of get this little hang of things where you just know, what you're going to do, what you're going to install. So yeah, it's not that hard. And I know all the little tweaks that I like to run with my KDE desktop environment. That's part of the reason I run KDE, is I run it long enough now. I know where to go to tweak everything and get everything set just the way I want it. So we are at 13%, and we'll give it just a little more time here. Hear the fans kicking in on this machine a little. They always seem to run on this one. My other one back there, they'll only kick in if it starts to heat up a little bit. This machine, it kicks in and they run all the time. I tried setting it in the BIOS where they'd only come on if it started to overheat. But yeah, it's just the way it is. And it's an HP all-in-one, can't remember the designation, 27-inch. I mean, another place I worked, they were going to throw it away because it had Windows and they were too cheap to pay for antivirus. So it got loaded down with a bunch of crap, and it just made it just come to a crawl. It was just slow to use. So they stuck it in the back room. After a month or so, I said, hey, what are you going to do with that old computer you got in the back there you don't want? Oh, we're going to throw it away. I said, oh, well, if you're going to throw it away, how about I take it? Can I have it? So they said, yeah, go ahead, take it. It's junk. We don't need it. And a little beknownst to them, I went ahead, I put an SSD drive in it and installed Linux, and it's just been running awesome ever since. All that it needed was a better operating system. Just needed to get that Windows off there. And once I did that, once I put Linux on it, hey, no problem. It's been running great. So, yeah, we'll give her just a second more here to install. In fact, we're at 25. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. We'll just pause it. I went ahead, and while I had it paused, you see it only took a couple minutes, but ran and grabbed something to drink. My throat was getting a little bit dry. So, yeah, you see we're already at 92, 93%. So it's humming right along. It doesn't take long at all. What's the matter, little girl? Come here. Come up here. See everybody. Here's a little bit. There's my little bit. You good girl? Yeah, it's a good girl. Yeah, she's a good cat. She came to the house here probably 3 years ago, about starved to death, just a little kitten. I mean, it looked like she's just ready to die. She was so skinny and starving. So I went and got her some food and water and took care of her. And eventually we went ahead and adopted her and brought her into the house. And now she pesters my older cat, Bunny, chases him around. She's a good little cat, though. She's sweet. She's sweet. You're a good girl. You are. You're a good girl. So yeah, we're 98% here. We're just about done. And I wish I had more light, so you know, this over here would look better, but I don't think this has a very good camera on it anyhow. At least ways I don't think it's as good as the older computer back there. That one back there seems to do better. 100% reboot. Okay, automatically reboot. No, we do not want to reboot. I gotta take this video and save it off. So we'll go ahead and finish, and you see I unchecked automatically reboot. So let me go ahead and save this off of here, and then we'll reboot to the system, and I'll show you how I set it up. So we'll be back in just a second. Alright, we're back. We're booted into our new system. I did get a light and bring over to kind of get more light on this thing over here, but it's still not the greatest, but it is what it is. First thing I'm going to do, turn the Bluetooth off. I don't want that on. And it is showing we have updates, 6 new updates, so we'll kick that in. First thing you do on any new Linux distro, you install, do your updates. That's always a good idea. So, and we'll have to get rid of that too. We'll go ahead and hit the upgrade button. We'll put our super secret password in. Which kicks in terminal. And it's going to go ahead and do all this. Yes, we want to update and upgrade, so we'll get that out of the way. But yeah, it's always good. Even if you download like the latest ISO, it's going to be a week or two old, and they may have updates or upgrades already in place for it. So, okay, press any key to close. Good, we're closed. Now we can go ahead and set some things up. First thing I'm going to do is configure panel, and I'm going to make this a little bit higher. I like to run her about 40, and it kicked me over to the middle. We'll move that back over, and then I can go ahead and lock it in place. We go ahead and change this menu out. I don't like that menu. Oh, that's right, we got to unlock to do that. Alternate, application dashboard, switch. Now we got our dashboard. So we can go ahead. Now we can lock the panel. And let me go ahead. More actions. Keep above all others. That way you can see my smiling face once we open other stuff. So I'm going to open this, and it's not keeping me above stuff. What the heck? Anyway, we're going to go to, actually, they put system settings right down here. So we'll go ahead and open system settings down there. And we're going to change these to icon, because icons are a little bit easier to play with than having to go through a menu. Workspace theme. We're going to install a new theme. The one I like is called Modern. And it's down here a little ways now. It used to be closer to the top. I guess it's not as popular as it was. Go ahead and we'll click install. Grab another drink. And now it's in. And this is one thing I love about KDE. It's so easy to get other themes or anything. I mean, it's right there. You just go get new looks or get new theme. Or it's simple. I love it. It's just so simple. We're going to apply. We're going to go to modern. That gives us a nice dark theme, which I like. For desktop, I like oxygen. That kind of makes this a little transparent down here, makes things look good. Cursor and splash screen we really don't have to deal with. I mean, we're going to do MX anyway for splash screen. Go ahead, all settings. Fonts, I like to go in here, adjust all fonts, size. They start you at 10, I like to bump them up to 12. Just makes it a little bit easier to see everything. Icons, they give you a fairly decent selection out of the box. The one I like though is called BUUF, Boof. And here it is, Boof for Plasma. We'll install it. And that's that one. It's kind of a caveman looking theme, if you will. Kind of Stone Age. I mean, I like it. It just looks kind of primitive. It's already in, so here it is. Apply. Okay, now we got our new icons. Desktop behavior. I want to do double click. I don't want to see tool tips. Desktop effects, and if you go to change without applying, it'll let you know. Screen edges, don't want to maximize, get rid of that, apply. Lock screen, don't want anything locked, which that looks like that's pretty well set out of the box not to lock anything, which is good. Debian has it set to lock, and I don't like that. Virtual desktops, they are giving you 2 out of the box. That's okay, I'll leave it. Privacy, do not remember. Window manager, advanced, and I like to go in here and let's center it up. So when we open up something new, it'll be in the middle, which that way we can find it. Startup shutdown. Let's see what we got in here. There's our background. That looks good. Auto start. We got that, and properties. Right now, I think they got it set for F4. I want to change that. Let me see. There should be a way to change. I think I got to actually go into that terminal to change it. Let's go ahead. We'll go to, where do we want to go? Connection. Go into connection, security. And they already got that set, not encrypted, so all users can use it, which is good. Input devices. I want to turn on the numbers lock when I boot in, so that's good. Display and monitor. Compositor. I want to go ahead, I go to X render, it just kind of makes things a little smoother. And for sync, never. So that takes care of that. Multimedia, that's all set pretty good already. Power, don't want a dim screen, don't want energy saving. When I hit my button, I want to shut down. Apply that. And then we can go into removable storage. Removable devices, I want to go ahead and mount those. That way if you plug a USB stick in, it'll automatically mount it. Apply that. And now you see when we go up to the screen edge, we're not automatically going full screen or anything. For new users, if you're a new user, you might want to look through the manual. You might want to look through frequently asked questions. Personally, I don't really need those. So I'll go ahead and, well, in fact, that reminds me. Let's go set Dolphin up. We'll go into Dolphin, which is how we get to our icons and stuff for things. And we'll make that a little bigger. And controls, we want to configure Dolphin. I like to use a common theme. And then on services, control, services, and Dolphin's not cooperative. There we are. It took it a minute. I like to set it up so we'll have a, where is it? Where did our delete go? Delete. I like to be able to delete stuff. That way you don't have to mess with it in the trash. So like now, templates, delete. Do not ask again. I want to delete it. Same thing with public. Delete. So that takes care of that. And you can see the icons. They look kind of prehistoric or something. They look kind of cool. So that sets that up. And we can go ahead. I'll hit F4. We're going to set up the width. I like to set it to about 60. Height, I like it 70. And apparently the keep above others option isn't really working for the terminal. And then, well, yeah, it worked that time. We'll drop the terminal down. You go into here to the settings. Let me see. Configure shortcuts. And it is saying shortcut, custom. I want it to be I think I can hit F12. There we go. Now I hit F12. It should, well, it's not. Still doing F4. I'll figure that out later. That's not really important right now. I did it on the other one. Forget exactly what I had to do. But yeah, I mean, this is just, you know, roughly how I get it set up. I can go in here. I can do my desktop, configure it. There's some nice looking wallpaper. And I want it scaled and cropped. There, that keeps everything looking good. So just, yeah, real quick kind of install and walk through on how I set things up. Of course, I'll have software to install and just little things to tweak here and there. But I mean, other than that, it's a piece of cake to set Linux up on your system. Not hard at all. So yeah, don't be afraid to download it. Put it on a USB. If you're running Windows, you can use Rufus. And that'll get you a USB stick you can boot to. Boot into it. If you like what you see, you know, do an install. Just make sure everything's backed up first. So, like I always say, either we stand up for our rights or we can sit by and watch them go away. Y'all have an awesome rest of the day. We'll talk to you later. TN.Frank out of here.